Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why and how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lending me your ears. Today, I want to talk about an interesting phrase I heard called decision confidence. Now, here's a definition by Robert Bladel, Senior Director Analyst over at Gartner's research company. Here's his definition. He says, decision confidence is the customer's belief and feeling of affirmation that they are exercising sound judgment when making a purchase. Now, the reason this phrase caught my attention because recently I've been thinking about decision-making confidence. And when I saw this phrase, I go, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Sales today is about building decision-making confidence in our customer. In other words, making them feel good about what they know. So if you think about this, if we can make a customer feel good about their decision, they will more likely make a buying decision. Having said that, this past weekend, I spent my time researching. As you know, I have a studio where I do the Sales Influence podcast and my show, Sales After Dark. And so I'm looking for this light, right? This lighting system that I need. I feel like I need better lighting in my studio. So I go online. Now, bear with me. The story's going somewhere, and it's all about decision confidence. So I go online, just probably like you do, and I look at YouTube, right? And I come across this channel called Fellow Filmmakers. Right? Fellow Filmmakers, by the way, highly recommend it if you're making videos or film. Great channel. This wonderful lady on there says, I want to compare two different types of lighting systems. Now, I've been seeing these names pop up, but I needed somebody to help me make a buying decision. There's the Godox SL60W versus the Aperture 12D Mark II. Love those names, by the way. But anyway, so there's the Godox and the Aperture. And so what I love about this lady's video is that she actually walks you through to actually help you understand which lighting system is best for you. In other words, she did a side-by-side comparison. Now, I'm very visual, so I need to see things visually. And what she did was brilliant. Her first test was called a brightness test, where she put both lights up against the wall, and then she walked through the different progressions, from 0 to 100%, the type of lighting you would get next to each other side by side. Ooh, I love that. That visually gave me an idea of what the two lighting systems could do. And one of the things that popped out was that one light system could actually ramp up brightness-wise faster than the other. That was one thing. Then she went into the pros and cons. Like, for example, fan noise, the dimmability of the actual thing, the lights, the assembly, and then she got to the price. Oh, the price was a big one. The Godox was like $140, but the Aperture was $745. That's a $600 spread right there. Then she got into the accessories, and then she went into her final decision, and it shouldn't surprise you that she went with the cheaper one, which is $140. Now, there were a lot of caveats in there. Like she says, it's worth getting the big one, right? The more expensive one. If you're going to be outside filming, you need to tear down the equipment quickly. If you need the accessories to go with it, like carrying case and a bunch of other things. And so she said, if you need all that, you want to spend the extra money. But if you don't need all that, you want to go with the cheaper one. And obviously, I went with the cheaper one, not because of the price, but because she clearly laid out for me which one I would need for my use. As soon as she said, if you're not going to use it outside, if you're not going to do a lot of tear downs, in other words, assemble and disassemble in the field, you don't need the carrying cases to go with it. You're trying to manage your cords, so forth and so on. Then you definitely, if you want these things, if you're going to be outside, you want to go with the cheaper model. But if you want high quality and you don't care about the tear down setups and you travel, so forth and so on, you want to go with the more expensive model. Now, this is interesting because this gets back to what Robert Bladel was saying. That decision-making confidence, let me read it again, is the customer's belief and feeling of affirmation that they are exercising sound judgment when making a purchase. And he's dead on. What helped me make the purchase was this wonderful lady, again, the channel's called Fellow Filmmakers, walk through like the whole process of using this lighting system and then highlighting the differences between the two. Now, how could you use this in sales? Because this is sales influence at its best. When you can clarify for a customer why one is better than the other, that's a big plus. When you're not afraid to highlight the differences and different scenarios or situations, that too is a big plus. Remember, Our job is not to trick the customers, not to manipulate the customers, not to deceive the customer, but to help them make a buying decision. And if you can help your customers clarify their decision-making process, help them build, as Robert Bladel will say, decision confidence, then they're more likely to buy than not. Now, here's another point, and I'll end on this. This is, again, continuing on the article by Robert Bladel. He said, our research shows that when B2B buyers have a high level of decision confidence, they are 3.6 times more likely to opt for a higher end or premium offering instead of settling for the less ambitious solution. Now, in my case, I settled for the less ambitious solution because it fit my needs. But if both products were, I'll just say, on par with each other, price wouldn't have been a differential. I would have gone for the other higher end product. But again, because the person doing the video highlighted clearly why you would want it in situation A and which one would you use in situation B, it made my decision-making process that much easier. This is not to say that I wouldn't have bought the most expensive one. I probably would have gone there if it fit my situational needs. Had nothing to do with price, had everything to do with my situational needs. So if we can combine decision confidence with situational needs for the buyer, then we're more likely to get a sale than not. And that is it for the Sales Influence Podcast. Leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you find me. Love to hear your feedback. Also, if you haven't done so already, we added some new courses to the Sales Velocity Academy. If you want to learn how to sell more faster, check out the salesvelocityacademy.com. Lastly, this is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selenate hard when you know how. Take care.
Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.